What's up? What's up? What's up? Can you guys hear me okay? Get my mic right. What's up, guys? What's up, Bill? What's up, Crypto Farmer? Everybody hearing me all right? Yeah. Mic check. Mic check. Can anybody tell me if they hear me okay? Oh, man. I am on the wrong chat. Okay, what's up? Sorry, I was on the wrong chat. Sounds good. Bill Colgate's Esoteric Pop. What's up, man? Cornholio is back. I need TP for my bunghole. Glad you guys can join. So this is gonna be my last stream for a minute before I take a little break. I gotta go see my mama down south. So that's what I'm headed to do. But interesting time in the market to head out, right? Just want to last check, make sure. Could somebody just give me a little, yeah, you're good, man? I'm figuring this YouTube thing out, and I promise to get better at it. Anybody? Yo. Alright. I'm good. Sweet. Let's get started. Sorry about the wrong link. I had like set the stream up to do it, scheduled it, and then I clicked go live, and then it gave me a whole new link. So here we are. Um, so I just want to get started and basically talk about kind of some of my takes lately, and I kind of got like a public service announcement to make today. Um, you know, I don't ever want to come off sounding like a perma bear or bearish. Um, when I talk about rates, so just a little history, going back to my background as a portfolio manager for, um, the ultra wealthy, handling multi-million dollar portfolios that had more of a long-term time horizon. We added value by predicting swings in the equity market, right? So I added value by reducing your equity exposure before the market crashed. Pretty much. Simple. Um, Adding to bonds when rates were going up, locking in higher rates before they go back down. Um, so that's just kind of one of the things I'm seeing in the market. Watching these rates go up so quickly in anticipation of a rate hike before we even have the next Fed meeting or more data that comes out on inflation, the economy, etc. I'm just seeing some bad signs that I'm used to seeing. Um, so take a quick look at the S&P. Right, it's not looking good right here. So just taking a look at the daily, right? Like the S&P is pretty much nearing support, and if interest rates keep climbing at this rate, it's going to get ugly. And I could see the S&P heading down here, down to this support level, and by the time they actually raise interest rates, we're down here somewhere, I think. So I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. Like, I'm super passionate about this, right? I'm super passionate about the market. I'm super passionate about all markets in general. And I think that, some people just think that crypto is just like totally some different thing and it just like operates in a vacuum. And I don't see that. Not right now. Not yet. Maybe at some point. Right? So, low time frame, kind of breaking down here. And, so these are just some things I'm watching, right? Some other, thoughts that I've kind of put out lately is that going back to the deficit and the Fed and talking about raising rates, 5-6 times this year, they can't, right? They can't do it. It's pretty much they got their hands tied right now. Interest rates being at pretty much as low as they could go last year, and half of our, $500 billion went to just paying our debt. Now you're talking about a year that's going to have interest rates that are triple, quadruple of last year, and it just becomes a thing where you're talking about, you're looking at the government defaulting on their debt, right? And they're not going to do that. So these are just my trade fi thoughts. I like to get that out there. I don't think that this is over. I don't think that the game will end. It's I still think the S&P is like a house of cards, but it could go on for much longer than people think, right? So, with that out the way, it's when it comes to crypto, and I commented about this today as well, is that, everybody wants to hear up. Like, just tell me when it's going to go up. Tell me when it's going to go up, Banks. Like, I don't care about nothing else. When is it going to go up? Show me up. And you got to understand that we're in a downtrend, right? When we're in a downtrend, positive EV trades are shorts. Plain and simple, right? So I'm not bearish on crypto. Like, this plays out all year. We're going to be making money all year. But you got to play both sides when the market is like this. That's just my thought on that. There's no way that, just boom, we're back at 60K and the S&P is dumping, right? So you got to pay attention. So all I'm saying is pay attention, right? So, we'll take a look at what I want to do today. We'll just take a look at structure of Bitcoin, and for anybody who's new on here, I don't know if anybody's new. Look, I don't want to seem like a Bitcoin stan, but the Bitcoin is the S&P, right? If you're trading some small cap stock somewhere, right, that's your altcoin. But Bitcoin is what you need to pay attention to, to determine the overall trend of everything else. So that's where I focus my time. So let's just take a look at where we stand. Look at some high time frame. Go low time frame. We could get into alts. I kind of want to talk about the profile a little bit. Kind of talk about some strategies that some new people, may benefit from, if there's any new people on here. So let's take a look at Bitcoin real quick. All right. So high time frame. Looking at the structure, it doesn't look great, right? You zoom in here, you had 2 doji days, and now we got 2 down days. I was in a short. It didn't go to where I wanted it to go. I'm about to get on a plane, so I'm not gonna just hold that while I can be quick to react on the plane. But, just taking a look at it overall, look, we have 4,500 and, this wick down here below 39. Below that, you zoom out, right here, these wicks over here at, mid 37s. And I'm seeing some orders. If you look on Binance, there are orders stacked right there. So Binance is thinking a lot lower. FTX, to be honest, below where we are right now, there isn't much. And, it's kind of concerning because FTX was Roe Jogan. EV means expected value. So downtrend, positive expected value are shorts. Uptrend, positive expected value are longs. That's simple as that. So, it's seeing FTX pull a lot of their liquidity. That's a little concerning to me, and I'm just playing it super cautious here. Like I really want to long the lows, or I want to short pumps, into this little range that we got here. We get higher, this doesn't go, fading that again. But we do have this thin area right here in the profile, basically this 1 day wick, that if we get up here, we move quickly through it. And up here, the bottom of this structure, that's where I'm getting heavily short. We don't just push up through all of this right here. Um, so that's kind of my thoughts. Pretty much where we are now. Lower, mid 38s, bottom of the wick, 4,500. That's what I'm looking at. And, higher. If we break higher from here, if we go, cutting here and fading there. That's my simple Bitcoin plan right now, if I could lay it out easily. So I wanted to also just kind of take a look at the book. We'll take a look at the book here, see what I'm looking at. So as you guys know, I trade on FTX, and I've been posting some charts about Delta, right? So people who are not familiar with Delta, CVD is cumulative volume delta, right? Delta is basically the difference between buy and sells, right? So price can move up on negative delta, right? But that's a weak move. You want to see price moving up on, higher delta, making higher highs, right? So this is what we're looking at right now. These are the lows over here. And that was, this was the negative delta at the lows. As you can see here, even though we're not at the lows right now, delta is just trending down, right? And it just shows that sellers have the stronger hand, period, right? Now, when this trend changes, and you see this making higher highs, which we did here, right? And that was the first trip up to 44-ish, right? And then we went a little bit higher, like 44.2 on less delta. That's when you fade the move, right? So you would have shorted at 44 and you would have been sitting pretty right now. So these are just some of the things that I'm looking at. And another thing is open interest. So open interest trending down as well. When it comes to OI, you want to see OI moving up as price is moving up. That means new longs are being open, new money is coming into the, coming in. If you see OI going down as price is moving up, that's just short covering, right? That's people who are short, closing their shorts, getting out, not flipping the switch and going long. They're done. They're waiting for their next short, pretty much. So, these are two of the main things. The S&P, and the negative CVD just trending down lower and lower, just kind of tells me we're going lower. Not today, not tomorrow, eventually. When the price is right, when it may take another kind of liquidation cascade, running the lows, running the stops at the lows of 39, taking that out, maybe down to that 38 area, and then moving up from there, seeing new buyers come in. That's what we want to see for the, showing strength in the market. Otherwise, it's just like, it's more sideways, period. Like, that's pretty much how I'm looking at it. Right now we have some bottom formation going on here. Another thing where I was just like, okay, this isn't the bottom is, if you look here, right? This is FTX, which I said was a more bullish looking exchange. All of this liquidity that they had, set up here looking like they were gonna, wanted to get filled, as they did back here, right? You see a kind of a similar situation. They look like they wanted to get filled. A lot of this liquidity was pulled. We came down, a lot less liquidity was here. Made a nice bounce, but it's looking very similar over here, right? They yanked it. They're like, I don't want to get filled here. And I think, over the next days, like over the days to come, you're going to see a big block of liquidity like this come in down here somewhere lower. And this is what I mean about, it's not looking great on FTX. You got some liquidity down here, right where I was saying, in that mid 37 area. Take a look at Binance. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, let's just ignore that big gap right there. But you can see where people are trying to get filled on Binance futures, right? So 37.5 area. Heaviest bids at 38K, and some at 39. It's Binance is, to me, a lot more amateur traders than as FTX has become. You see like these round number levels where people are stacked. It looks like a spot exchange. It's like, all right, just keep filling me all the way down type of exchange. But I like to lean on both to see what they're thinking. Bybit, it's, again, not the most helpful exchange. They're just pulling liquidity left and right. You can see all the heavy liquidity is like right around price. And I usually fade the moves that I see on Bybit. Whatever they do, I do the opposite kind of thing. But yeah, just looking at it in general, it just doesn't look great, right? So all this red here, that just means sellers, even though we're pushing up a little bit, this is all dominated by sellers right now. This is all this red delta. We haven't had really any since we dropped from up here. That was the daily open. So we tried to push, and that was a fail. So just taking a look at it, it's not looking that great. So, I was feeling positive over the weekend, going into the weekend, and then I kind of want to show you guys some red flags that I saw, and I was just like, oh, this is no good. We're going down. So, oh yeah. So going lower time frame, right? So over the weekend, we had these crazy periods of just like, trying to push price up, and I was just like, yeah, this doesn't seem like bullish activity, just like holding right here, around, it's like 3-4 hours in the same like little $100 range here. And it started to scream out that market makers are just like keeping us propped up. And then you saw pretty much going into yesterday, they kind of gave up. And then we had that breakdown here. So right now where we are, I really don't like this area. It could totally go from here. Like I said, I have to get on a plane, so I'm not going to try to long here. It looks good. If you look, let's look on a 4 hour, like we're basically pushing from this daily low over here. But you know, weekly VWAP, this green line right here, you can see every time we've touched it, it's been a shutdown, and I kind of see that continuing. So I'm not really bullish here. I want to get the long that sticks. You know, I want to get the long that I could hold for a couple days, add to it, and build a nice position around it, and not really seeing it. So that's kind of my thoughts on Bitcoin right now. Macro, just all-encompassing, my thoughts of where I think we're going. I pretty much expect a breakdown to here, but we could go here. We could keep ranging, but I don't really see us just pushing, the 45 from here. It's possible, but all the data I'm looking at is telling me, nah. That's pretty much my thoughts on that. So, that's what I was thinking. That's how I'm feeling. It's not doom. Like, I don't feel like, all right, it's over. It's straight down to 30K. Definitely some sideways action, I think we're going to be ranging between the 44 and 40K area until we break out to 45, 46, and then I would be a shorter up there and see where that goes. If the market is strong, let's go back to this real quick. If the market is strong, comes up here, you fade this, you get a nice bounce on the top of this structure. If the market is weak, you fade this, back to the lows. So that's kind of how I'm trying to play it right now. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what you guys are thinking. We'll look at alts in a second. I'm here for you guys. Whatever you want to look at, we could do it. But yeah, I think I'm done with Bitcoin and the whole macro situation. So, what do we want to talk about? Let's get active in the chat over here. All right, Mike, you want to talk about my trading light settings? Sure. And Ethan will definitely. I'll go over ETH. I neglect ETH because I don't really trade it. Me and ETH got like a love-hate thing going on, but I will go over some ETH levels. We could talk about it. But let's just do the trading light setup really quick. So my trading light setup is basically what I have going on here is not too much, right? So this right here is basically the same thing that you're seeing on my trading view screen, except you could see the color in the candles. These are by delta, right? So you see the highlighted area here, that's your value area. Same thing as on the regular profile. This red area, that's heavily negative delta, right? These green areas are where delta was high. And one thing I want to talk about real quick about positive delta and negative delta, right? When the market is dumping, delta is going to be negative, right? When delta gets heavily negative, then it's just a matter of time before price reverses, right? The sellers are out of gas. Same thing going up, right? So if you look here, See all this green delta over here? All these, you're like, oh, it's all green delta. It's buys. It's going up. That's pretty much the market getting gassed, right? You got green delta up here at the highs, up here. Markets, it's getting exhausted, right? Then you see sellers step in. This is heavy, sellers on the ask. So, don't think that red means, green means buy and red means sell. That's not what that means at all. So basically on my setup here, I got a couple of things. I have my settings. So I'm on FTX. Every exchange is different, right? If you're on Binance, 300 Bitcoin of orders at a level is not a lot. 800 is a lot. So you need to learn what your exchange is. So my settings right here for my levels, so I can see my support and my resistance, are basically minimum of 100. I don't really care about the small orders. You don't want to pay attention to that. It's going to get you out of your trade at the wrong time. And peak settings are 300. So 300 usually gets you, this white area. So your peak settings turn the brightest color. So this white area, you could see, I don't know why it's not coming up, but, oh, there it is. So 385 orders, 300 orders, 300 Bitcoin worth of orders, sorry. So those are my settings, just, visually. I have it set, you could do a dual gradient setting. So I have, above price is red, resistance, below is blue, support. I have this is everything I have right here, so you guys could just get it if you want it. I have an anchored VWAP. Yellow is the daily, green is the weekly. So, you zoom out, you can see here. Now, VWAPs are amazing for trailing your trade. If you're a swing trader, a weekly VWAP, daily VWAP, so just look at 52K, broke below the daily anchor VWAP, and broke below the weekly, and pretty much stayed below the weekly the whole time until it broke up here. VWAPs are, I can't discount the value of a VWAP. Like, moving averages, price moves over time. Over time, you go sideways, you're going to break it. Trend lines, same thing. Over time, you're going to break out of it. It's great to use trend lines to see, what the trend is, but as waiting for a trend line break for entry to a trade, that's you missed the move already. Like, you missed it. And volume with price just holds so much more value. And that's why the market profile is so important. That's why I lean on that heavily, because instead of having 17 indicators, I got one that captures all of the rest, right? So I got an anchor VWAP. I also have an ATR kind of stop trail thing. I don't really use that too much, but it's kind of helpful. Like, all right, you got your stop would be down here if this was your long. And this is set to a 2 ATR. If you don't know what an ATR is, that's average true range, right? So the standard is 14. So it's if you're using a 15-minute candle or a half an hour candle, it's the average length or range of the last 14 whatever candles you're using. And it could be a great tool to trail your trade and place your stops properly so you don't get out of your trade too early. Again, I don't lean on it. It's kind of just there, but it's nice to look at sometimes. Another thing I have on my settings here. So I have, these are this is the trade book. So I'm getting the live trades coming in from FTX. Only 28 people watching. They're missing out, bro. They'll catch the replay. So look, so I have it set right here to, what do I got this set to? So minimum size 5, right? I don't care if somebody's buying 0.02 Bitcoin. Minimum buy that I want to pop up here is 5 Bitcoin. You can also set it to a sound alert, and I have my sound alert set to 20 Bitcoin. So last night, chilling, watching Euphoria on HBO. Was like, I'm going to take the night off. Bing, 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 bing. Hopped into a long. Like, it super helpful when, like, especially like right now, how we're just kind of bottoming out here. It's like, okay, when are we going to move? And when you see those big buys come in, that sound rings off. Same thing with the Agri trade. If you guys aren't familiar with the Agri trade, it's the thing that I have here in the top left of your screen. I don't really keep the sound on that though, because it gets really annoying. It could drive you crazy. But let's say I'm doing something in the kitchen and you know, sometimes I put the sound on while I'm doing something, and I can literally hear a trade from the kitchen. Like, I know the sound. I know if it's a long. I know if it's a short. This is another free tool up here. You guys can get it. It's aggr.trade, and if you guys need help with settings or whatever, I'll hook you up. Don't worry, I'll send you my personal settings. That's how we do here. Everybody wins. Everybody wins for free. So, in addition to that, you got the order book over here, right? So, with the order book, hold on one second. I want to make sure I don't lose the chat. All right, cool. So, over here, we have the order book, right? So, right now, I have it set to, you can set it to $1. You can set it to $25. I have it set to 50 because I like to see trades in a block. I want to see what the level is holding. Again, remember when you're looking at the order book, this is all advertisements. This could get pulled at any second, right? Like right now, you're looking at it. You got more support, then you got resistance. Price starts moving up quickly. These people jump out of the way. But it's good because, you could look far out and be like, okay, well, 4150, there's some people sitting there. Okay, 40,000. I got a lot of people sitting on that level there, right? And you could zoom, 37,550. Bottom of the wick, what I was talking about, what I was showing you guys previously, right? So that's pretty much my settings in a nutshell. Oh, one last thing that I have on here that's key is it's called daily levels, right? So see these green dots right here, these red dots here, those are your daily levels. So it gives you an open, a high, a low, and a close, right? So if you look here, we opened. You can see you got this little green here above the open. And then below the open, it turns red because we basically started, dropping down here. And it turns red to show resistance. And down here, this green right here, that's yesterday's low. So you can see right now we're above it. Yesterday's low, green, support, and we're going. Breaks above those levels, bounces above, at those levels, key. Like that's probably one of the most helpful indicators that I have on here right now. Down here, you got your CVD, and here you got your open interest. So that's pretty much my settings for trading light. This thing is they offer a free trial for like 2 weeks. No credit card. Just go on there, email, do it. Highly recommended. They don't give me $1 for it. I use it. I love it. What else do we got? All right, let's go back in the chat. Let's see. Give some shout outs. Yo, Ro Jogan. I love that name. That's awesome, man. Show us the heat map. So Bart, I think I went over that. Thank you, Patrick. Hit the like button. Subscribe, please. Helps me. This is literally my 3rd stream, man. And I love it. I love chatting with you guys. I love, having these conversations. I love bouncing questions off of each other. Like, this is how we learn, right? Somebody gets in the chat and be like, yo, you're wrong, dude. You're totally wrong, But tell me why. Let's talk about it. Thank you. Thank you sincerely. I really, really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day just to chat with me, And I'm a cool dude. You're ever in New York, come see me. We'll grab a beer, grab a pint, talk, show you around town, whatever. POC, confluence and resistance. Thank you, Mike Horton. You're like you're like my chat moderator, answering questions for me before I get to them. MCBC platform. I think I just went over that. Trading light. If we're good. Oh yeah, I gotta go over. I'm gonna go over ETH. I'm gonna go over ETH for you, Ethan. No problem. We're gonna do that next. What else? Sorry, just catching up. Cheers from Brazil, man. I went to Copacabana, man, and San Paulo. Amazing, man. I love Brazil. Amazing place. I got some good food too. Downtrend is underestimated. I agree. It's like people don't realize where we came from. Like, people don't realize how far we've dropped. And one thing the S&P and crypto, there's no one-to-one comparison, right? So like today, the S&P is dumping, crypto outperforms a little bit, right? But the S&P is near all-time highs still. We've dropped 40% from the highs, and everybody's looking for their next long. Like, do you know how many good shorts you missed? Here, there, I could go all the way back, from 52, 67. It's like, you can't be one-sided in this. I'm telling you, once you learn how to short, and before we finish this, because I got time today, I could chat. We could chat it up. I'm gonna show you guys how I look for shorts, and how you could get into a short without losing your shirt and just or getting scared and jumping out when you see your first green candle, because that's what most people do. And I'm gonna go over that in a second. But we're in a downtrend, my friends. I'll go over FTM. I'll go over Luna. Uh, do you trade OB? OB order book. Fernando, you gotta clarify. And yeah, I'm gonna share that aggregate template with you guys for sure. So let me go over ETH. Let me go over a couple alts, and while I go over the alts, we can look at some strategies of how to use the profile to take shorts. Right? So let's do that. All right, let's look at Ethereum, the coin that keeps me gassed. I love Ethereum. Is great. I remember I had Ethereum when it was like $80, and it's come so far. NFTs, everything. It's gonna keep growing. It's gonna keep expanding, but just the non-practical everyday usage of it when it comes to moving money, the moving money part is I just can't get over that. So let's take a look at ETH right here. All right, still got my old levels up there. So the ETH chart is looking, let's go to the daily. Right. So, taking a look at ETH, I drew these levels a long time ago from the weekly. You can see I still got previous day lines drawn. That's how long it's been since I looked at this. So, right now we are, we bounced here at 30K, right? 30K. Kind of a do or die level, right? You don't want to see ETH below 30K. Below 30K, similar situation to Bitcoin, where you got that wick below at like 38. So for ETH, 38K would be 27K to me, right? Going lower time frame. Looking at the profile right now, you're bouncing off this naked point of control, these dotted lines here. So for anyone who doesn't understand the market profile, a naked point of control is a high volume area from a day that has not been interacted with, right? So that means that from here at 31.25, let's say, we moved up. We never touched that level again, kind of hung out around it. And these levels are amazing levels to look for longs. I don't care what coin you're looking at. As long as you're looking at a reputable exchange with, decent volume, they work. And you can see here, kind of wick below it, but kind of catching a bounce. But again, like I said, look, if you were gonna have 3 indicators on your chart, I would have a volume profile, either daily or the range you're looking at, a daily VWAP, and a weekly VWAP, right? You see the rejection at the weekly VWAP, and you see the resistance at the daily, and how it hasn't been able to get over it, right? Those are key, and what it all comes back to is volume profile, volume weighted average price, right? It's volume. I don't care what somebody's tweeting about or this project or going on and this development and EIP 90, 15, whatever. Volume speaks volumes, literally, period. So looking at ETH right now on the 4 hour, you're at a level here, and this is what a little bit 30 25. I think that would be an equivalent to like a 4,500 on Bitcoin, and then you got your lows, right? Simple as that. Resistance 3,400. And one thing you should notice about ETH in terms of strength, right? Bitcoin traded in a little range before it broke down, right? ETH traded in a little range before it broke down too, and was not able to reclaim these highs, right? That's weakness, but hands down. Bitcoin was looking stronger than ETH here. So, not, obviously Bitcoin breaks out. ETH is an altcoin. It'll outperform, higher beta, but I would want to buy the lows. I wouldn't be taking this long right now for sure. So you got your levels, 3,400, and then from there you pretty much go to where the breakdown occurred at about 3,700. If it can get up there, still got to deal with this 3,500 level first. But that's my thoughts on ETH. I just want to show you guys something really quick before I really start digging into altcoins, and just show you kind of how you can use the profile to make trades every day. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. This is a naked point of control, right? Same as I was just showing you on ETH. It's a area of price, high volume that hasn't been interacted with yet. I took this short. I had my ask. I was on the ask right here. Boom. And I think one thing that can make shorting easier for you guys is don't put up an order or mark it in for your whole position, because obviously it could break out, keep going, and leave you in the dust. What I like to do is I put a smaller limit order, right? Something where I'm comfortable with. If it goes $300-$400 past my price, all right, I take that L, cut it, boom, whatever. Can't win every trade. But what I do is, boom, it shoots through this. It gets weak up here. Now, you guys can see, when you want to fade, when you want to take a short, you want there to be little to no volume occurring in that area, right? So see this area, look at this single print up here. There's nothing. Nothing happened up here. So now you're in for your smaller order, right? And then all you got to do is just boom, 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 boom. You can mark it in, add. All right. Next candle, didn't push back up, add. All right. It didn't go, came back up here, add. Right? You don't got to be all in at once. That's how you get cooked. Just slowly, unless it's like Bitcoin hitting 39K and, having a $1,500 wick where you got to mark it in quickly, then you got to do that, right? But even on that trade, it pulled back. You could have added on the way up. It makes shorting a lot less scarier, right? So that was one short. Then you have the point of control from this day. The next day, Price comes right up into that point of control. It can't push higher. It eventually drops below it. Short. Right? Then you have another point of control here from this day. Pushes above it. This is a resistance level. Short. Right here. Pushes above VWAP. Can't hold it. Back below the point of control. Hits support. Hits point of control. Rejection. Rejection at the VWAP. Short. Rejection at the weekly VWAP. Short. You know, so there's so many opportunities. People don't see them on both sides because they're just like, I want to get in the trade that goes to 47K. It's like, it's not always about that. We're in a downtrend, right? The person who shorted up here and held or added is the person who's winning, not the guy who's down here and is like, all right, it's gonna go. It's gonna go. You know, it's we're in a downtrend, folks. That's so there are many ways, you know, to go about using the profile, but you know, so just look at where we are right now. So from this composite, you have a point of control right here. This is the biggest, highest volume node, and as you can see, and why I'm not anxious to long this is because it's right, you're just longing right into this, and it's just, you got the VWAP, this point of control, and its previous support level turn resistance. Now I don't want to buy that. I really don't. So that's just quickly, some methods of how you can look at the profile to short. All right, so let's do altcoin hour. So I think Luna was first, and I'll go through the chat. First time. Thank you, Fernando, for the subscription. Brooklyn, my man, my brother lives in Brooklyn. John, cheers. We need to have a real cheers one day. Coffee sometime. Let's do it. I love coffee. I need to cut down on my coffee. Just trying to get through here really quick. Order blocks. Nah, I'm gonna say no on that. So let me answer these questions really quick before I have altcoin hour, because that's where I'm gonna end it. No, I don't really do the order blocks thing. It's kind of not my style, but it does, it works for people. Have I tried EXO charts? Yes. I was like an early EXO user, before they even had the desktop, before they even had like integration where you can, make trades and things like that. I like EXO. I've never used the desktop. I like EXO for, the footprint and for the profile. It's a nice clean version of the profile. So so if you look right there in the middle, that's EXO charts. That, if you look at the top middle, that's the EXO charts profile, and so much cleaner to look at than on TradingView. So I'm looking at that daily. Like every morning I wake up, I look at my points of control and kind of see if we're balancing, trending, what's going on with that. But I've found using Trading Light that I get everything I need to still get good execution. I'm not like, so one thing about my style compared to a lot of the traders you see out there, even my buddy Ryan, right? Super sniper entries on the tick. As soon as they see that zero at the bottom of the footprint, I'm in, for a scalp for like 10 minutes. I don't really do that. I still get good entries. So I use Quant Tower for my execution. I went over this thing called Power Trades. You guys should go back in an old video. I'm not gonna go over that today, but it's basically the footprint without looking at the footprint chart. So I'm seeing imbalances happen where in the same places where you would make an entry on a footprint chart, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a minute late. If we're on a 1 minute time chart, I get in a minute later. It's cool with me. I'm okay with that. I try to have tools that provide me everything without, needing 17 screens, right? Right now I'm working on 2 screens. I have a big curved screen and I have a tall I have like a 27-inch screen that's vertical. That's it. And another thing that I find when you're looking at too much and you're paying attention to too much, especially for newer traders, you are going to hesitate entering a trade because you're looking there and that thing went off and this happened over here and oh shit, and then you miss like half the move. Like, you have to find a system that works for you, and right now this is what works for me, and I don't need to have EXO, Trading Light, AgriTrade. Like, I posted like a couple of weeks ago, like I finally got my system where I wanted to be, and so yeah, love EXO, and Silico is my man. If you guys don't follow in Silico, you're missing some quality info, some quality shit posting. He's a good dude. We chat a lot. And they made an awesome project, man. Flood and Silico, all those guys, they're great. But yeah, that's my thoughts on EXO. Yeah, $20 fees to send someone an NFT poppy on ETH. Yeah, I had to send somebody $200 the other day, and the gas fees are $50. Not happening. We went with Solana instead. 30K, maybe. Not out of the question, bro. I think if the market dooms, the stock market dooms, right? They do a Fed hike. I'll talk about this quickly. So, if there are all of these big, Jamie Dimon, Bill Ackman, there's these guys coming out like, Fed, they have to hike to maintain their credibility. Literally, they have none right now. They're known as just jawboning, man, we're going to do this, and they do nothing. I posted the other day about why they can't do nothing, deficit, our debt service, government spending, this program after this program, and the infrastructure bill, right? So I think that they forced through a 0.5% rate hike. If the market doesn't doom between now and kind of ranges the stock market, I think they push through a half a point rate hike, see what happens, hope they don't destroy things. They probably will, and 3 months later, they'll take 0.25% off. We'll be back to zero, pretty much. Those are my thoughts right now. You're talking 2-3 months out, but that's just what I'm thinking. Trying to answer everybody here, and I promise to get to alts. How do you have your VWAPs set up? Okay, so my VWAP and my profile I'll be honest, are pretty much standard. I don't really do much to it. Also, I wanted to get to this, right? Let me switch back. So, you guys have seen these arrows everywhere, right? And Silico's levels, I love them. But one thing I just want to like put a disclaimer out there about them, right? They're called levels for a reason. It's not a trade indicator to take a long or a short. It is giving you a level. Maybe it is a long, right? So let's look at Luna here, right? This level candle popped because now this could be a trade because it's a retrace of this candle. That's a long. Here, you got a level, but it's pretty much equally with this one. You got a retrace. That would have been a losing trade. Up here at the top, it gave you your level, right? This would have been a lovely short, but it's a level. It's basically giving you support and resistance, right? Eventually, didn't break that level, right? So if you put a limit order here at the level, boom, put your stop a little bit further out, you know, for stop hunts, and they work. It would have worked here. It would have worked there. It would have worked here, right? So I just want to talk about that, just clear the air on that, because I don't want people to think like, oh, bank stakes trades, you know, based off of a green arrow and a red, you know, it's definitely not. VWAP standard, right? I don't use the bands, right? But it's pretty much your standard setting. I don't do anything to the VWAP. The VWAP is the VWAP. It resets daily. That's it. Weekly. Now this is, so for the weekly, I use what's called the anchored VWAP. It auto anchors. So you could anchor it to, you know, you want a week, you want a month, you want a decade, whatever you want. You could pick that here. It has length here, but that's only used for when you're using like special VWAP periods, like high and low volume, highest volume, low volume. I don't use that. And pretty much, so when it comes to the volume profile, I have it set to 60 rows or 60 ticks per row. So ticks per row, and I have it set to 60. It's really set for Bitcoin. I don't really change it for each coin I'm looking at, but basically the smaller the tick size or the value of the coin, the less, it's going to be less granular. I can't say that over here. So if you look at Bitcoin, right, which is $40,000, you have these thicker bars, thicker levels. You go to something like Luna, and you can't really distinguish, but regardless, it gets it close. You know what I mean? So pretty much standard settings, nothing crazy there. Short weekly VWAP. It's really simple. My favorite time frame to look at. Awesome question, man. My favorite time frame to look at, generally, for intraday trading, is, I'd probably say the 15-minute. For scalping and things like that. 15-minute for intraday trades, hands down. Obviously, if we're nuking, I'm gonna go to a lower time frame to get a better entry, right? I'm gonna be on the 5 or the 1 minute, but if I'm just sitting here and I'm just like looking for a level to long or short, right? I like the 15-minute chart. For swings, I would say the 1 hour, and obviously the 4 hour. But for me, the 1 hour. And the key thing about the 1 hour chart is if you trade, you know, most of the volume in a candle, especially, you know, in a 1 hour candle, is at the end of the hour and the beginning of the hour, right? So that's why the 1 hour candle is so important to me. All right, let's look back here, right? If we look like we're dooming, right? It looks like everything is over. The world is ending. Oh shit. Oh no, it's all over, right? We stop here. Now, if you could sit there and hold 30 minutes to an hour without breaking down, chances are on the next hour you reverse. I mean, you could see that here. You could see that, you know, you could see it everywhere. Boom. So here, came down, didn't go any further, held this level, right? And then it went, right? The hour is key for swings for me. XO desktop is buttery smooth. I bet it is. Window trader. Girl trader. It's alright, you're not too late, girl. Welcome. Welcome. Alright, so the only alts anybody asked me about so far has been Luna and ETH. So if you guys want to get it in, I highly suggest you hit the chat with your request. So let's go to Luna. So, one thing, you know, I posted about before, and I was like, I'm changing my game plan. Last week was, you know, I didn't like what I was seeing over the weekend. Totally new game plan. And look, my key in doing this thing is for you guys to make money. I don't want to see anybody get cooked. You know, I don't want to see... trust me, I'm doing a lot more risky things on the side that I don't show you guys because I could get cooked and lose money but I can afford to lose it. Like it's all right. And I don't want you guys to come back to me and be like, man, Banks did this, showed me this thing and it's down 60%. And I promise to leave that out, you know. As much as possible. Now, if it's something that I really think is a winner and I believe in it, and maybe it goes down 60%, but then it goes up 300x, I'll let you know, but I will give you a disclaimer. So, what I meant by change of plans is like, look, last week, everything looked like it was going to break all-time highs. I'm sorry, not Luna. Atom, Near, FTM, all just like all-time highs coming, breakout, let's go. None of that. I don't want to do none of that. Breakouts get faded in a downtrend. I posted about OI going up substantially. Guess what? It was going up so people could get on the short side. People were trying to fade those highs, and they did successfully, right? So now, since Bitcoin is, I haven't even checked the price in a minute. Where are we at? Going back down. So I want to look at levels that we could get in and be solid and hold it for a week, right? So let's zoom out on Luna. And this is the problem, guys. You know, things have run up crazily, and you got to deal with that. Wow, I had all these levels put in for Luna. Get that out the way. So look, where we are right now, you got resistance above you now. 87 is resistance, and we're at 77 currently. If Bitcoin breaks down, which I think it will at some point, right? You have, if you look at the structure here, right now you're catching support on top of this structure at $78. Below that, I'd be looking in this 66 range. And then below that, basically 58, $60. Things get ugly, which they can. This high volume node here, right there, $43. And please don't think that we can't go there. We can go there. We need to be cognizant of all these levels, right? So, taking a look here, this is the highest volume node of this range since it broke down. And that was where the rejection occurred, right? That was your short. High volume node, pushed up into it, that was your short. Right now, this area is acting at resistance, $80. And then, right here around $70, that's where it would get interesting for me. That's my thoughts on Luna. So if we push higher from here, I'd have a take profit up here. Take profit 1, take profit 2, like $95. Lower, you got the lows here, $63, and right around $70. Those are my thoughts on Luna. What else we got? Near and looks rare. Looks like it might make me some money. Looks like you could just do that all day with that. That's awesome. Looks like we're gonna look at Near first. All right. So Near has gone so far from the top. Same thing. I thought we had the news, big investment, 150 million, infusion, $20, just capped it. Straight up capped it. So where are we right now, right? We're pretty much at the top of this structure here. $17. Now, if things don't go so well, $16. So $16 was resistance back here. I think that could be a nice support level. The thing you got to think about with Near and FTM and some of these coins is that there's crazy demand for them, right? Even if Bitcoin dumps, you may not see the lows. Like you may not see $13 on Near again. But to me, this 16 area looks like a good place to get involved. 15 looks way better, right? This high volume nodes, like from 1450 to 1550, that looks like a beautiful long for Near for me. It may not get back down here, just because, like I said, of the demand, new people coming in. They might long term hold this one, and it may not dump like some other coins will. So higher up, you got resistance here, right around $18, and then $20. Be cognizant of the weekly VWAP at 18. If it does break up, don't underestimate the strength of the weekly VWAP. Like that is a serious level. All the institutional people who are trading this, they're using it. Last night, that's where they shorted, right? That's where I got involved. Not on the first trip, but the second. So those are my thoughts on there. Great area to long down here. Pretty much 14.5 to 15.5. You know, this could be a level I would like to get involved down here. Or the lows, right? So near. General interest in phone coins? FOAN? Nah, I don't trade move contracts on FTX. No, definitely not. I'm strictly perps, pretty much. Pretty much perps. Alright, cool. I'll do looks, I'll do crow, and if you got any last requests, get them in now. I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute. So looks is a brand new chart. So let's take a look at Hubo. You know what? Nah, let's just look at FTX. It's a recent listing on FTX, but I think this is where most of the volume is trading right now. So I think this is the most important. So let's take a look here. What we got. It's funny. This coin came out and I was actually joking about it because I had no idea what the hell it was. I didn't know that it was for the Looks Rare exchange. I just thought it was some new BS meme coin. But it's looking very nice. So look, when altcoins are first exposed to perp contracts, you get this. You know, it's like faded. So everyone thought it was gonna doom. You know, you got the lows down here at 263. I don't think you see those again. Like, I don't know. Unless Bitcoin's at 30K, I don't think you see that on this. People want this thing. People who don't know, Looks Rare is the other NFT exchange that is competing with OpenSea. They're actually doing more volume, but the cool thing about Looks is that they give you like fee rebates in the Looks token, right? So it's a good incentive to use their platform. And you know, I'm not an NFT guy, but from what I hear is that OpenSea is always like crashing and all of this nonsense. So looks like it might be a nice play. So look, we're at resistance. So we're at resistance at $5 here. Considering the Bitcoin is kind of dumping right now, this I'm gonna laugh every time I say looks. This looks like a strong prospect, right? You're sitting, you know, near all-time highs here. You're at resistance, but if I was trying to get an entry, you got this structure down here, right? This top of this structure here, you got a high volume node at like 430. Below that, you know, basically $4. And then, in my opinion, as low as this thing is gonna go is like $3. So $3 to $3.50. That's pretty much my thoughts on that. Not really enough data to say much more than that. But look at where you're at, right? $5 breakout price discovery. We have no idea what this thing could do. If I was long, especially with the market being shaky like this and this thing just hanging out near the highs. I wouldn't be selling. I'd be buying more lower. It definitely looks like it wants to go higher. So that's my thoughts on looks. All right, Crow. I have never traded Crow a day in my life, but I will look at it because it does numbers sometimes. Okay, so off top, not looking that great. Not looking good at all. Compared to everything else that we've looked at, considering this was the bottom of the wick for Bitcoin, we look like we're gonna make new lows here, in my opinion. I wouldn't be buying this. I wouldn't be shorting it here, but I wouldn't be buying it. Looks like decreased demand. But if you were going to buy it here, look, you're basically at the lows. If this holds a support, well, let's go higher time frame. Yeah. Oh, nah. I wouldn't be buying this thing. I would have got out a long time ago. This looks pretty ugly. If this doesn't hold this support, this is going to break down. It's going to break down. I think it breaks down bad. Like 38 cents, definitely below 40 cents. You got this naked point of control right here that could work. But you see this thin area here? That means if it breaks here at 44, 43, you're going to 40 at least. That's a 10% drop. So I don't like this at all. Not one bit. Nah. Wouldn't be a play for me. If this holds, obviously, you'd look for, maybe you have a take profit here at 45, 47. But to me personally, I'd say dump this garbage. That's what I'm going to say, straight up. All right. I'll do Phantom, Atom, and Near. And then, all right. And I'll do Av because Av is actually, let me do Av because we keep going over the same ones. And Av is, man, I was like day one in Av, man. DeFi summer, this coin definitely got me going into 2021 properly. So, looking at Av, just on a 4-hour, what I don't like about it right now is it just has this kind of wicking action and going nowhere. Which is kind of signaling to me that it may break down. It's wicking off this 221 area, and if this continues to hold, this is a great place to long. If it holds 221, 222, but if Bitcoin breaks down, I'd be looking right here, 205, and the lows, pretty much. Right below 200. But it's not looking like it's going to make any moves without Bitcoin's help. And right here of the range, this is actually the composite point of control. It's just a breakdown. So you can see it acted as support here. Maybe it comes down and acts as support again, but looks a little tired. Looks a little fading to me. That's of. Phantom. Phantom. I wanted to long Phantom last night when Bitcoin kind of seemed like it was going to hold up, but it hit this naked point of control here, and I basically wanted to long here and aim for this $3, and I expected a rejection there, and that's exactly what happened. So from 290 to $3 wasn't worth the risk for me, so I didn't even hop in on that. It's breaking down pretty much. Lower low, right? It's kind of bouncing off this high back here. Phantom, if you longed here, might have been a good trade, but I'm looking lower for these. If Bitcoin breaks down to the lows, I'm looking lower. I'm looking down here at this structure, 250. Maybe this naked point of control here, low $2 even. Not sure it gets down there, gotta see, but this kind of looks like futile attempts to pump, and shorting this was the move. That's kind of what I think about that right now. But 250-ish area looks like a place to get involved, and then 240, and then the lows. One. One. All right. This is another one that broke out a lot, and it's making lower lows as well. When it comes to this one, obviously 30 was the long, but still looking weak here. Bitcoin's looking weak. Everything's looking weak. So you got to look lower. 28 looks like a decent area. 25 would be my ideal long if we got down there. May not get down there. 28 is the highest volume node here. I'd like to see a reaction here. That may be a long. That may be a good area to long. All depending on where the orange coin is sitting, in my opinion, right? But you can see how far it's come, right? It's from 13 cents. So, I wouldn't expect it to get back 13 cents. You can forget about that pretty much for a while. 20 cents, 25 cents, this area up here, right? That's one. Woke up to a long left in the books. It's great when it's up, not when it's down. All right, guys. So, listen. I hope that this was helpful. What I'm trying to do is instead of just going over levels and telling you what I'm thinking about altcoins and whatever, the most important thing is to take from what I'm doing and just apply it to anything you're looking at. I hope that we do this in a couple of weeks and you don't even got to ask me about levels. You should start picking this stuff up to where it's just secondhand and you're just like, oh, all right, boom, look at that bounce off of that level right there. I want to educate. I want to have our conversations, talk about the markets in general, where we think they're going, all of the hurdles and speed bumps we could hit along the way. Bottom line, wrapping it up, I don't think that Bitcoin is bottomed yet. I think we're getting there, for sure, 100%. I think people screaming 30K might be, it's like the people who are screaming 24K when we're at 30K, right? It's a different game. There's so many more people involved. The younger generation likes this shit. They want it. They don't want to own Procter and Gamble, Johnson & Johnson. They want the new hot altcoin, right? As that generation gets older, they get more money, they start working, right? It's this space is gonna grow, and there's gonna be opportunities everywhere, right? The thing that I'm seeing right now that concerns me is, I posted about it the other day, is money is just rotating from one coin to this coin. It's DeFi week, and it's Metaverse week. Now it's this week, and that guy is hyping this coin. Like, you need to see new money coming in for this to sustain. And we're kind of stagnant now, and that's why I'm so leaning so heavy on the Bitcoin OI, because when that turns up, your net worth's gonna turn up. You know what I mean? So try to get out of the where's my next long. I'm gonna long this. I'm gonna long this dip. Like, you don't gotta catch every one. Like, when you're in a downtrend, retraces are pretty much, like, I'm not gonna say guaranteed, but very likely. You don't gotta hit the button on that first dip, especially on low volume, right? I've been trying to avoid trading Asia. My Asia trading statistics compared to my daytime New York statistics it's night and day. It's not telling. It's low vol. It's tricky. It starts out up and then it's down the next hour. Watch your levels. Watch the volume. One thing, let me show you here. Like, look, when the most amazing thing about a profile chart is that this is happening live, right? So right now, just taking a look at this 5-minute chart, boom, we're back below this heavy level of which, it's pretty much been resistance, right? This is sell orders coming in right here. You see it live, right? Now, a bottom. Now, let's say you see down here where it's like light volume at the bottom. Now, if it comes back to these lows and the volume doesn't pick up, like it just stays light, then it could blow through it, right? If you look at a market profile when it's first developing, like let's say as the day starts, what I look for, like in an Asia session, which I just said don't trade, not don't trade, but don't feel like you have to trade it, I guess, is when this day starts, right? You'll see it start. You'll see the profile start to form. You'll see the boxes getting bigger, right? And then let's say it comes down, and at the bottom, you'll see that volume build up and build, and then price move away from it, move up. That's showing you that was long, that was positive delta, that was long volume, right? And then that point of control at the bottom becomes like your stop below that / support, and you got your trade. This is live. It's like watching a breathing machine. Like, it's like watching a baby grow up. It's like, it's 1 year old, and then okay, it's growing up, it's in puberty, and then you figure out the direction that you want it to, where it's gonna go. You know, it could be a bad kid or a good kid. Who knows? So I think today was a awesome stream. Great. Thank you for joining. Hit the like, subscribe button, man. You guys are everything. I do this because I like it. I don't do it because I have to. I really could just chill and watch Netflix for the rest of my life. But this is the meta game. I love it. I love interacting with you guys. You know, if anyone has ever DM'd me, you know I get right back to you. I am here to help. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to cut it there. I got a flight to catch. I'm going to Atlanta to visit my mama and my sister. So, not going to be that active on here for the next couple of days. But, you guys, you know, stay safe out there and, you know, don't take every loan that you see. Wait for the right one. Blessings. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave you guys with some little tunes to jam out to as I peace out.